What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking Burning Abyss in this video, specifically in the OCG. Now that they are finally legal, they're finally seeing tournament play and asking the question, can BA be the best deck in the OCG as it once was in the TCG? Some might even say that right now it's the best deck, but who knows, that's a different argument for a different day. So anyways, Burning Abyss are finally out and they are actually seeing a lot of tournament play, and we know that in the OCG for pretty much the last 6 months, the format has been pretty much just rank 4 spammage, whether it be Performages or Performapals. Like, some collection of those two major engines has pretty much been the best deck. Even Necros has seen some light play, same thing with Mass Heroes, but now that Konami pretty much put the nail in the coffin of Necros hitting Charades and, you know, what they did to Shadow Mist, that pretty much eliminates Heroes. You know, Performages is one of the decks where it didn't really get touched that much, but with BA out now, I think we have a new contender. Now, this is actually a build that took first in one of Japan's biggest tournaments. It was actually this Sunday. I think it was 192 players. You can see it here on YGO Organization. This is actually one of the builds. And if you look at all the decks that topped, Performages and Pals and Burning Abyss were pretty much like neck and neck, which is, it's incredible for a deck that's, you know, only been out a couple of days to make an impact on the meta this quickly. Now, the thing is, they use pretty much the same like really good BAs that we use. As far as the core monsters, Seer, Graph, Scarm, maximize on those, like Too Far and whatnot. But I was looking at these builds, and it's just like, if you look at the OCG, I think that BA could be way better in the OCG than it was in the T. Well, not than it was, because at one point BA was like really good, but that it ever could be right now in the TCG, because not only do they have, you know, OCG exclusives like the Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which is really good. It's kind of like a better version of like Mathematician for the deck, but they have so many ways of just like wrecking the meta. These decks that want to make rank 4s all over and over again, you know, remember, they have 3 skill drain, and skill drain was one of those things where it kind of caught on in Burning Abyss when it was finally when the card got limited, because, you know, Tour Guide was at 1 and people were like, you know, we don't really actually have to use that many effects in Burning Abyss. It's just really Dante and Tour Guide. Everything else doesn't really have an effect on field. And even when you make Dante under skill drain, you can still mill. You could still get damage in by going into Slacker Magician. It'd be 2100. So, and then when, you know, it died obviously to Dante with Trigger and whatnot. But they actually have, I mean, they have Beatrice, which isn't on Dueling Network, so I can't show you guys. And just as I expected, the last 3 cards right here are supposed to be Beatrice. But as I said in the Beatrice video, if Tour Guide was at 3, I thought that Beatrice would be an instant 3 because the card is just that good. And honestly, I think it completely replaces Downer Magician. You see that they're still running 1 Downer, but with Beatrice, you really aren't ever gonna go into like Tour Guide. I mean, you're really not gonna go into Downer that much anyways. So when you look at the advantages that this deck has, obviously over the TCG, they've got 3 copies of Tour Guide. We don't have that, so those ridiculous openings of double Dante that, you know, we used to get in the TCG, they're gonna get those in the OCG. They've got 3 skill drains, which means that Performages and Pals, when they want to do all of those crazy rank 4 plays, it's just not gonna happen. You want to go into, you know, Telemethos and you want to try and get like a Pallades or something, skill drain. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And then when they're playing like triple breakthrough skill and triple skill drain, like, I just don't see you getting any effects off, especially if everybody seems to be playing Max C. Now, one thing that I saw in this deck, and I just almost lost my mind because I don't think anybody in the TCG ever thought about it, but it looks like they're maxing on it, is Horn of Heaven. And this is the original one from not Magic Ruler, from Metal Raiders, not the, you know, not Black Horn of Heaven, which was actually really popular when Exceed started kind of like taking over and whatnot. But when you think about Horn of Heaven, if I'm not mistaken, you could actually, I think this does stop a complete Pendulum Summon. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that Horn of Heaven works the same way as like Solemn Judgment. It stops all inherent summons. That would mean a Pendulum Summon too. So if you're playing against Cleaford and your opponent's like Pendulum Summon 4, and again, Performages and Powers, they do this a lot. They'll be like Pendulum Summon 3. You just activate Horn of Heaven. You launch a, you know, a Seer, a Graph, a Scarm, a Dante. You know they're gonna pay for themselves anyway, and you just negate all of their stuff. And they're really maxing out on this. So, you know, more than anything, I just kind of wanted to see what a Japanese like Burning Abyss deck was going to look like, and I have to say I am impressed. You know, if this deck would have been legalized like this at Worlds, it would have won Worlds, because this deck looks magnificent. So let me know what you guys think. Is BA going to be the best deck in Japan? I'm gonna say yes, because I just don't think with this much hate for a pendulum deck where you can just be like, you can't pendulum summon. We've got these 3 Horn of Heavens. We got this Solemn Warning. We got this Solemn Judgment to stop all of that. You know, you can't use any effects because we have 3 Breakthrough Skill. We have 3 Skill Drain. We have, you know, double Burning Abyss, Fire Lake to nuke your pendulum zones, man. I think that the deck might be a little too strong. And one thing that I didn't even touch on, when you think that the deck has ran out of resources, they have Pot of Avarice. So you know that this deck can pretty much use Pot of Avarice by turn 2. Not only does Burning Abyss mill cards off of Dante, but when you're running hand traps, you're gonna get cards in the graveyard so quick. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always. Subscribing makes life happy.